Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to an episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. We are super excited to come to you today from the Milwaukee booth here at the Equip Expo 2024. Super cool opportunity, and I want to say thank you to Milwaukee for letting us sit in this awesome studio with some new friends here, Michael and Bradley. I'm excited to sit here with you today. It's going to be an awesome interview, some good conversation talking battery power, where that space is going. I've been saying for the last little bit of like, if you don't get onto the battery wave, you're going to get left behind. And it's something that I think it's going to take a few more years for people to really get on board, but we're getting there. We're going one day at a time, right? And so I think we're making good progress. The show 2-3 years ago, totally different than what it is now, and so I'm excited. But Michael, Bradley, introduce yourselves, man. Let's walk through, and then we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of the hedge trimming side. If you're a listener of our show for any length of time, you know that I have a very personal injury and story with the hedge trimming side, so want to dive into that as well. Some new safety features coming out, which is going to improve a lot of that. And then just dive into the power management side as well. So, Michael, you kick it off, dude.
Yeah, so hi, everyone. Michael Pilipovich. I cover our hedge trimming and pruning shear space for the outdoor power equipment business here at Milwaukee Tool for the past couple of years.
Yeah. Bradley?
Yeah, I'm Bradley Berkman, and so I work on our battery charger and portable power team here at Milwaukee.
Awesome, dude. Well, awesome. I'm excited to hop in. Well, Michael, we'll start with you, and we'll just kind of pitch and catch back and forth. Tell us a little bit about the new hedge trimmers coming out, because I know you got a couple different varieties, a couple different options, some pole trimmers. And I think that this space, getting into it, this is where, if you're going to break into battery, from what I've personally used in my company, this is a great start in the hedge trimming space, the chainsaw space. So walk us through what's dropping this year. What are some features of it, and how can guys implement this in their company?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very excited. When we first launched our power equipment business back 2018, we had our one M18 fuel hedge trimmer. That has been pretty much our standalone M18 solution up until now. So we're very excited to introduce 3 new programs and 5 new hedge trimmers in the space. So we're doing a next generation of that handheld one I know you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah.
So we have an M18 Fuel 24-inch hedge trimmer and an M18 Fuel 30-inch hedge trimmer for that handheld space, which are really providing best-in-class performance with power to cut 1.25-inch branches for the most demanding days of cutbacks and trimming and beyond. Added features for easier control and more control, like a rotating handle, which we can talk through a bit as well to take as much strain off the user as possible. So that's the handheld space. Then as we get into the pole space, so we have 3 new pole solutions. First is going to be our M18 Fuel short pole hedge trimmer. It's going to be a 71-inch tool, which no articulation on it, but intentional to really give that power, but maneuverability in mind for those lightweight, quick shaping jobs where you want a little bit of that mid-reach extension, but don't totally need something of articulation. But when you do need something like articulation and you need that more versatility, we're offering the M18 Fuel articulating pole hedge trimmer and the M18 Fuel extended pole articulating hedge trimmer. So the first one is going to be total length of the tool at 85 inches, and our extended pole will be 105.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's really focused on not just providing best-in-class power when going through, again, more dense material or even lightweight trimming, but that versatility with offering 13 articulation points on the top on a 24-inch blade. We're also adding that rotating handle feature onto the 2 pole articulating units as well. So talking to guys when they've been doing longer runs of a shrub, especially when trying to get that 90-degree angle, to try to take, again, more strain off of them and adding in a new-to-world feature with rotating handle on the poles. So it's one of those spaces where, especially as we look at the electrification, as you mentioned, what we're able to provide on hedge trimming in terms of the power, the runtime, and added features to make it easier for the user is something that is one of the more easier transitions to get over into battery power and looking at best-in-class performance and none of the frustrations or figurative or literal gas headaches that other solutions provide.
Yeah. You got something, Bradley?
Yeah, it's funny. So we were kind of joking before this. So I'm responsible for power management, which is right. How many batteries, how many chargers do you need to get through your full day of work? And of all the tools on a trailer, from an energy perspective, hedge trimmers are really one of the lowest,
Yeah.
right? So finishing that full day of work, it's 1 or 2 batteries
Mhm.
versus something like a trimmer or blower. And, one of the things that's going to convert pretty quickly.
Which I actually wanted to ask you, when looking at one of your videos online, you showed your trailer and you have, a bunch of your mowers and string trimmers, and there was
Yeah.
one standalone M18 hedge trimmer in the
Yeah.
corner. So I'm like, all right, you got to get it with, at least when looking at transitioning, this is one of those first ones or one of those easiest that you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, 100%. Like that is, I think that transition is one of the first, because you're saying you don't have to have 8 or 10 batteries to get you going, right? You 1 or 2, you're gonna get through a daily dose of work all the time. And so I think that the hedge trimming is a great way to break into the space. Talk about the articulating base on these, right?
Yeah.
That's something that's huge. I think that's going to really help the comfortability of
Sure.
using this product, because a lot of guys, I've yet to see that on a gas powered unit. They may have them. I don't know. I haven't seen one though. And so being able to use that paired with the handle safety.
Yeah.
So that's my thing of like, you start holding things different ways. You get out of your comfort zone. You may make mistakes.
Sure.
And so adding that handle safety. And so a little context here, guys. If you haven't listened to our show in the past, you don't know the full story. I had a really bad hand injury with hedge trimmer in 2021, where muscle memory just took me. I was always using pole trimmers, and the muscle memory of grabbing that pole, I was my first time using a set of 21-inch M18s before this feature was added, and had an accident with it. And it was just like the muscle memory of doing things different. I stuck my hand in the blade, and now with this new added safety feature, that's gone. And so I love that. I love that feature. So hit on that, the articulation of the base, and then also the feature of you have to be holding that handle.
Sure.
As soon as you let go, the blade stop.
Yeah, so when we were doing research with end users and talking to them about what they wanted to see in a next generation hedge trimmer, one of the first things that came up was power. They
Yeah.
said, looking at our current M18 fuel hedge trimmer, they said this is a fantastic trimming solution for something lightweight, but when I want to go into something more aggressive, definitely want more power. So what did that mean? That meant bigger blade set, double-sided blades, and more aggressive cutting system. With that, we said, okay, we have to run in parallel as well, something like
Yeah.
a secondary user presence. So that's going to be that switch that's on the bail handle. So you have to have 2 hands on the trimmer while using it. The second that you take that hand off the front bail handle, it's going to shut down the tool and it'll
And
cut
like
power
it's
to it.
like the millisecond.
Yes,
like, as
absolutely.
soon as you let go,
as soon as you let go and detects it, it'll be off. So something that's great, again, as guys start to get more comfortable, as you mentioned, and start to really go through more and more trimming, and it becomes kind of second nature to them. We want to make sure that whether it's your first time using it or your 100th time, that's something that we're always going to ensure that was something that'll help the user get through it more safely.
It's easy to get lackadaisical. That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Like you start doing something over, and that's what mine was. It was the muscle memory of doing the way I've done it for 3 years.
Yeah.
You change that up. So like in these, you've ran these 21-inch trimmers for 3 years. Well, we get one of the articulating bases. So you're changing up the way you're holding it, and then you just out of nowhere, you take your hand, you move it.
Yeah.
And if that safety situation isn't there, you can have a really bad injury.
Yeah. So not just with you're getting more comfortable with having more aggressive blade set, it's then getting more comfortable too, adding in that rotating handle on the back of the tool. So as you mentioned, we have a 5-position rotating handle, so it's able to pivot from the back of the tool and lock into 45 degrees in each direction and 90 degrees in each direction. So just think of doing a longer shrub on a sidewalk or the side of a property or anywhere where you're just doing that 90 degrees the entire time. We're able to, again, pivot and lock in that position to take all that strain of twisting off your hand while going through with something handheld. And then to your point too, pair that then with a more aggressive blade set, how comfortable users have been with that rotating handle.
Yeah.
It's great to also on top of it have that secondary user presence to make sure that you're not too comfortable
Exactly.
while using it too. To make sure
And if you're
still.
trimming shrubs all day, you know how that base,
Exactly.
that articulating base makes a difference. Like been over doing, like we were talking, doing perennial grasses and
Yes.
things, you start just flying through them, and you can really just work that thing. You get comfortable with it. So awesome feature, man.
Yeah, no, we're very excited to introduce that on not just our handheld 24-inch and 30-inch, but on those 2 articulating
big ones
poles
too.
as well. Yeah, so the 2 articulating poles will also have 5-position rotating handle on the back of the pole. So that's been a massive feature that we're kind of first to market to, that users have already been pretty excited about.
Yeah.
When as you start to get longer and taking on more weight with something on extended.
Yeah.
Whatever we can do to make it easier for the user, and that's been a big feature we've been pretty happy with, and we'll be excited to see how it does.
Yeah. Comfort is huge at that point. You're doing stuff like that long. Those extended trims, I mean, that's a lot of weight you're carrying on the end.
Exactly.
I know they're light.
Sure.
Compared to that's a lot of it's awkward. So being able to have that new position to hold is awesome. Let's transition over to the battery. The battery, I think it's the reason it's been so hard for people to hop on board is like it's just taking time to get to where we get run times up, charge times down. And that is what I've said from day one is the people that get that figured out the quickest are the ones that are going to take off in this space. And that's because in a commercial landscape setting at the commercial contractor, that is literally what it's all about. Like it is about, hey, how long can I make this unit run? How fast can I charge it once it dies? And so it is what it is. Tell me a little bit about how Milwaukee's doing that with the technology, the management of batteries, all those things. How can this actually fit into someone's daily rig and them still be productive throughout the day?
Yeah. So, I know the batteries get a lot of attention, but it's really kind of three different pillars that make us so special: the batteries, the motors, and the electronics. And so what you'll see across any given tool is a very deep level of expertise and performance on those right size components, both electrically, motors, and then that battery part like we're talking about that deliver the performance and the power that you guys are looking for in the field. And it's very exciting because we've come a long way in the last 5, 10, 15 years where, now we have 10 times the capability that we had in 2007 on the same M18 platform. And if you look at a gas engine, right, go buy a 20-year-old 2-stroke gas engine, it's going to look exactly the same as a new one. And so, it's fun to be on the inside and just watch all these technologies slowly creep up and improve. And there's certainly kind of a big runway of opportunity into the future as well.
Yeah, I'm excited. That it's such a cool concept. I think so. I tell you, I have a few battery pieces on my rig now, and it's like those are the things I go for. Like when you get it in your actual rig day to day, those are the pieces I'm going. Like blowers, I'm going for the battery blower every time. Like you throw it on, you press the button, and you go. So walk us through the charge times, the run times of some of these, if you don't mind, as in detail as you can. Of like you throw the new blower on that's releasing. How long is that thing running? And then when it dies, how quick can we change batteries? How quick are we getting the ones that died running again?
Yeah. So if you kind of take a step back and look at how most people are slowly converting, there's kind of this 2-step process of your first question's like, are the tools any good, right? And people generally get over that pretty quickly. They either get hands-on with them, they realize they have the power, or we from the marketing side try to convey it with, comparing these tools to a 200cc gas engine or whatever it is to help people that in application they have the performance. But that's kind of just that step one, like we were talking about. And the second step very quickly becomes, how many batteries do I need? How many chargers do I need? How do I complete that full day of work? And so this year we've introduced a bunch of new battery and charger solutions that help you do that in unique and different ways. And so if you kind of take a step back here, when we talk about our new product design process, it's really end user focused. And we, about 5 years ago, made a very big decision to go into the outdoor power equipment business. And we said the only way we're going to do this right is by really understanding end users. And so we went out and put data loggers, little devices on the tools of over 100 landscaping companies across the country and said, pretend like we're not here. For a couple years, we just want to see exactly how much power, how much runtime you're using every piece of equipment in your trailer. And what really came out of that was there's just not a one-size-fits-all solution. Some crews might need a dozen batteries. Some crews might need twice as many to get through that full day of work. And there's also different behavioral changes in terms of where you have access to power and how you might get that power from, your outlet in your shop to the tool on site. And so I'm a really big believer that there's going to be a couple of different key charging scenarios, I call them. The first one being overnight charging, right, where we see the vast majority of electrified landscapers charging today. The second one, on-site charging, if you have access to power,
Mm-hmm.
Using a lot of our new technologies to recharge batteries faster and discharge them multiple times per day. And then the third is on-trailer charging, which,
And that's where we're going.
yeah,
That is the end user of this audience, this space. It's on the trailer. How are we making this stuff work?
couple of things. So we've launched in the beginning of this year our roll-on power supply. So a new portable power solution for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It's basically a big battery generator. It's got a big 2.5 kilowatt hour core on the bottom and a 3600 watt inverter on top. And this really unlocks that ability to bring power with you on the go and to recharge during the day. And on top of that, kind of being in our 9th generation of battery packs, we've learned so much, and we've been able to put new cell technology, new pack construction into our red lithium forge batteries that let you charge them a lot faster than we previously could, but also blow air through them as they're charging. And so what this does is it really cools down the battery very quickly. And when it comes off the charger, it's ready for another discharge.
Yeah, it limits the overheating. Is that what I'm hearing there? From somebody more advanced than me in the battery space?
Yeah, I mean, look, so heat's the enemy of all batteries.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. And you stick a battery on our new 20-inch chainsaw that has almost 6 horsepower and do a 20-inch bucking cut, right? Like, that's a lot of power.
It's going to get,
that battery's going to warm up, right? It's inevitable.
Yeah.
And so being able to push air right around the cells through the battery cools it down in like 120 seconds.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool, man. Well, talk about how we're going to get into the next year. So a lot of this stuff is coming out 2025, right? Beginning of the year. Where are people going to go to find this stuff? How would you suggest like starting to put influence into your company, right? What are some pieces you would go after in the beginning? I think it pairs with what we said. Hedge trimmers, like some of these little handheld units, a string trimmer is a great addition to have. And then also how are these batteries? Are these batteries working? Same batteries working across all these tools? Walk through some of that as well.
Yeah, so I don't want to take Bradley's subject of batteries. I've been looking at our 3 systems of M12, M18, and MX fuel. Each of them having their own system effect with them. With M12, M18, and MX being very focused on different things, but still providing best-in-class performance for each of them. So as we look at for anything M18, 275 tools off of one battery. So the same that people are familiar with. It's funny when we go to events like this, when you go to Equip, when people come up and say, "Oh, I've known Milwaukee as I've had a drill for a dozen years or so. Is it the same battery?" And it's yeah, absolutely. M18, 100% compatible. M12, MX fuel, all compatible within their own systems. But we look at really that entry in for outdoor power equipment specifically, which the user is able to enter however they want within each of our solutions, offering just the tool, offering just a kit variation with each as well, and then being able to build out your own system how you see fit by adding on bare tools and expanding. But we really see for outdoor space, string trimmers, backpack blowers being sort of one of those more core entry level positions as a day in and day out solution, and then adding in from there, the tool only for the hedge trimmer, or for the tree care side, entering with something like a top handle or the dual battery chainsaw like Bradley mentioned. So for each of kind of the 3 systems of M12, M18, and MX, you can really enter how you see fit, whatever works for you and whatever works for your business, and then grow it accordingly, and then having that full system compatibility for not just what you're doing for the actual trigger on with a blower or with a string trimmer, but then expanding in and looking at what that maintenance of the tool looks like for the drills, impacts, sharpening, you name it, all going to be compatible back on those solutions that we've had for a long time with M12 and M18 and MX as well. So it's going to be a massive system effect that really is what separates us from a lot of other brands out there and really helps us serve the end user the best way.
Yeah. I mean, I think the compatibility and the system effect are just so critical to completing that full year of work. And so if we kind of go back to that, gas data logging I was talking about, what you see from an energy perspective in most climates in the US in the spring, vast majority of that energy is on trimming and mowing applications, whereas in the fall, it really shifts over to blowing applications. And so for us, it's really important that we give, professionals the solution to redeploy that energy throughout the year, and the compatibility between those tools is really critical to doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. I appreciate it because it's great information. I think that, like you're saying, the hedge trimmer, the string trimmer is the way in. I personally have used the string trimmer, the dual battery. Thing's a hoss.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's one of those things. I'll go to that every time.
Yeah.
And I love the head, the speed feed looking head on the end. It's a very quick load process, which I love. It's unique. I haven't seen really one like it yet. So. Just unique little features like that. Love it's got like the turtle mode and the rabbit mode, all the different variations of speed. So I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you walking us through it. Is there anything that we missed that you want to hit on that I didn't ask you the right question or anything?
The biggest thing that I would say is we are offering and expanding into, each year double digits of new solutions. Yeah. And we're just getting started, for especially not just as Milwaukee Tool, but for the outdoor power equipment space specifically as well. So for you and your listeners who saw a lot of cool new things today, you'll be pretty excited for what's to come in the future as well, and really staying true to the users, staying true to how we can best service them and get the best performance and provide that system compatibility to really delight our end users is where we're headed, and we have no intention of stopping anytime soon. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what's to come as well.
The value in this, there's a ton of value, but one of the main ones is like you said, over 200 something tools with this M18. Yeah. You're already running impacts. You're already running drills. Like, this is the stuff you buy. You don't even have to buy the batteries. Once you have your set, you just start buying tools and adding to your collection. So
yeah, I want to build off that a little, just in terms of, it's a very exciting time for us at Milwaukee to be growing, to have this new business and all these new products. But if you take a step back, I think it's a very exciting time to be in this industry where, there's a lot of resources and manpower going towards improving the performance and productivity of this equipment. And I think we have a very exciting electrified future with more battery things for the professional landscaper.
I love it.
I'm curious to ask you as well. You mentioned, going to the show before. What are the biggest industry changes that you've seen as well?
I mean, I think it sounds like it just this is the common answer, right? Sure. You would think this is what I would be saying. It's just that the battery space is coming. It's coming. It's been the last 2 years. Yeah. I think 2 years ago we were talking really the robot mowers came on the scene, right?
Sure,
you had the little ones, and you had the big commercial ones going up the hills and things, the robot controls. That's all good, but I think really it's just the battery space, because it's not the it doesn't have the stigma that it used to have.
Sure.
3+ years ago, I remember being here. People were like, "This battery stuff sucks. Like, it's not gonna last. We're not gonna do it." 3 years. Look ahead 3 years. Look at how much is here and how much advancement we've had. And that's what my thing, like, and I'll be honest, like, as a landscape business owner, 3 years ago, I'm like, yeah, this, good luck. Like, have fun figuring it out, because the gas stuff is just too good. Then you sit back and you're like, man, the technology, the run times, the charge times, all that stuff that's gone into it, tons of research. And I love that Milwaukee's broken into the outdoor equipment space, because my gosh, I don't even know all the history, but like, how long have you been doing tools? Like, you've been doing
100 years.
Yeah. So like, you have that history of the battery space.
Right.
And so the tools are just like an addition in there. Whereas some people coming up now is like, they don't have the history of that battery technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's where, like you were saying, Brian, that's where the value is. That's where it's in the back end of the batteries.
Yeah. And, we're very lucky in that sense that we're on our 9th generation. We've got a lot of internal knowledge on battery technology. And so it's kind of funny, right? Because in the new product design world, of course, we buy competitive products and we tear them down and we look at them. And it's kind of a little fun to have the engineers go buy a competitive battery, take it apart, and start laughing and be like, hey, we learned 5 years ago you shouldn't put cells this way. This isn't going to hold up. This isn't going to last.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You learn as you go.
And I think one thing we've learned too, the phrase we throw around is gas performance does not necessarily mean gas replacement.
Correct.
Because you can get that one cut to outperform, if you pick on something like a chainsaw, to really outperform something than a high CC gas engine with a battery powered chainsaw or string trimmer or head trimmer, you name it. But who's doing one cut, or who's doing 5 seconds worth of work? Yeah. It really has to be that full system effect and that full day's worth of work, and thinking about property to property, what that difference is going to be. And that's where Bradley and the team come in with a lot of let's focus on how we can be best in class in that one cut, in that one scenario for blowing. But then how can we sustain that as long as we can across your entire day, year, month worth of work, and provide that system effect consistently as much as we can.
Yeah. And I think we also have to kind of take a step back and recognize, yes, in California, small gas engines are banned. There's some other states, areas where we're seeing things pop up. And you can fully convert your handheld stuff today, but recognize that for a lot of people, this is going to be a journey that takes time.
Correct. Yeah.
And so building out these systems that don't just meet different energy needs, but also can scale and grow with you over time is pretty important to us.
I love it, guys. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you to the Milwaukee team for setting us up here, having a great interview process. It's been awesome. I think this has brought a ton of value to the listeners, right? I think people on the edge, you learn things, you figure these things out, you go to these trade shows, you put this stuff to the test, and then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, we can actually start making the switch.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Michael, I'll let you take this one. Where can anybody find this stuff? When's it coming out? And just where's the best place to keep up with all of it?
Yeah, so I'll answer first. Best place to catch up all of this, MilwaukeeTool.com. Sounds easy enough, but all of our new products, every spec, every distribution footprint is going to be there on our website. A lot of these solutions, as you mentioned, are going to be available for the end of the 2024 season, November, December, pretty soon right after this. And we have some coming in as well for that kind of February, March timeframe. But looking to get almost everything in before that really peak 2025 season. So for more information on every single product, where you can get each of these products, different kitting configurations, if you go on to MilwaukeeTool.com, we have it all listed there for anyone who wants to see it.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, I appreciate you listening in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you got value from it. I know that we tried our best to hit on some real topics, not just like jargon, but like actually dive into how we can actually help the end user. And that's what I'm doing in my business. So I hope that it translates over to our listeners as well. But without any further ado, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for following along with us. Let Milwaukee know. Thank you for partnering with us here on this show.
Absolutely.
And thank you for letting us set up. So if you don't mind, leave us a 5-star rating review on the show. That always leaves us a big, it always helps us grow the community one relationship at a time. So without any further ado, that's going to wrap this episode up. We look forward to catching up with everybody here on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.